Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I am your host for you to Messiah of Limited. Never duplicated. As soon as I turn Vicious in, gonna go over Money in the Bank was in jolly old London, England, and well, before we do have to go over some sad news that did happen over the course of the week from last week's recording. For those that grew up in the 90s and were around and saw him in the Attitude Era, they know him. Darren Drozdov, he was known as Droz. If you've seen the documentary Beyond the Mat, you know him from that moment with Vince. Oh, he's gonna puke. That you know him from that part, but he passed away. And it's always sad when you see somebody that you grew up watching go. But I'm taking comfort in that Droz was happy with where he was in life. He, even though he had no feeling from the neck down, he was happy. He was still, he had this tank of a wheelchair-like thing. Went out hunting, all that jazz. But yeah, it's sad. And honestly, it sounds real cliche, and it probably is, but I'm hoping his family's doing as okay as she can, given that kind of shit. So, with that said, Droz, we're gonna miss you, bud. And, well, as the old cliche goes, the show must go on. So, Money in the Bank, London, England. Before we even get into the matches, gotta go over one big thing that did happen that was a huge what the hell kind of moment. Out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, John Cena came out. John Cena's music hit, he came down, and he didn't do the normal blow smoke up the ass for the fans. Boy, it's great to be here in insert name of city. Wasn't like that at all. No. He came out, do you guys miss me? Do you guys surprised to see me? Kind of way. And then hyped up on how, now listen, I know despite what the people in the back think, they're not in charge. You guys are. So, what I want all of you to do is to let them know you want to be heard and you want WrestleMania in London, which... Man, in the immortal words of Gorilla Monsoon, pretty sure the roof blew off. Pretty sure Gorilla said something along those lines. But the roof came off the building when John said that. And that got the gears in the brain turning. Honestly, I would not mind a WrestleMania being there in London. It's just... my concerns run with time constraints. Because WrestleMania, okay, we'll say for here in Vicious, the Vicious Studios, we're here on the East Coast. So, it starts at roughly, WrestleMania is like a, give or take a good 4.5, maybe a 5-hour show here in the U.S. And I'm not saying that it's not feasible or possible. It can physically be done. Just got a lot of different things going in my head, thinking business-wise, timing, time zones, travel, planning the entire event, because WrestleMania is not just a weekend thing, it's a week-long event. So you'd have to do the WrestleMania experience and all that, and I'm not gonna sit here and dissect each little bit by bit trying to point out pros and cons. There's people that do shows that are way more educated on that matter than I am that can do that. So I'm just saying, I could see WrestleMania being done in England I'm just not sure when. I said a Clash at the Castle. If they couldn't do a WrestleMania, have like a Clash at the Castle kind of show once a year. Make it that. Make it something like that for it, and that way you can have that entire weekend experience. Plus, they do the UK tour right leading into it. So, now that I'm done talking about that, now let's get into the show itself. It starts off with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Butch, Shinsuke Nakamura, Santos Escobar, Damian Priest, Ricochet, L.A. Knight, yeah! And the walking douche nozzle himself, Logan Paul. Now, I'm going to say right from the start, L.A. Knight, man, he had them people eating out of the palm of his hands. Just good God, they were so all over him. They absolutely loved it. Loved it. And then when Paul got in, he was just like, he got in there like, yeah. Like everyone circled around him like the new guy in the yard. And then proceeded to give him an ass whooping like he was the new guy in the yard. And it was a lot of good action going on all around. Very much so, car crash TV, you know. And again, I can't get over on how hyped the crowd was. LA Knight, all he had to do was just touch the ladder. And people were going ballistic, in the immortal words of Pat Patterson. They went bananas! They were going nuts for it. And very much so, like I said last week, he was, in my heart of hearts, I did not think he would win, but I was wanting him to be the people's, or walk out of there as the proverbial fans winner. You know, trying to get the words right. Damn it. Don't want to say over with the crowd because he's already over, but walk out of there with everyone being like, "Nah, dude, you see that guy right there? You see him? That dude's the next big thing. Don't look, don't think twice. Don't skip past him. That dude's gonna be something. That dude is something. That dude just oozes something." But yeah, really great all in all. This was a hell of a way to start the show. Match came to an end when LA Knight, he had a ladder up. He was getting ready to go up. Priest out of nowhere got him, took him down, then got up there, climbed up and won. So your winner and new Mr. Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. Thank you, whoever heard me up there saying for not having Logan Paul win. Now, with that said, there was a point where it was like a big holy shit moment where Ricochet and Logan Paul did fall over a ladder and landed into tables that were set up earlier in the match. And on Raw, Ricochet then called out Logan Paul to meet him next week for a face-to-face confrontation. So, if I was a betting man, I'd probably say we're going to have a match between them two at SummerSlam. Next up, we got women's tag team action. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler going against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. And heels, were leading with Liv being the punching bag, really working on that injured shoulder. And Liv, man, I don't want to say she was overselling, because she, honest to God, was not. But my God, her screams. Oh man, dude, no lie. I had the volume on my TV at like 10. Anytime they started working that shoulder and wrenching it to where she was screaming in like agonizing pain where you thought they were cutting it off with a spoon, I had to drop the volume down to like 5 because of on how high her screams were. Just, whew, that girl's got a healthy set of lungs on her. It was something. But Raquel got the hot tag in, started cleaning up house. They were going good with that, and then eventually Liv got brought back in. started getting worked on again with Shayna. She had her in the Karabuta clutch, trying to choke her out. Wound up rolling out of it. Shayna then backed into the corner. Ronda, tag, go in. And then Liv just seeing down on the ground, weakened, defenseless, like, and then boom, Shayna just beats the crap out of Ronda Rousey right out of nowhere, and Liv just looking like, what's going on? And then Shayna walks off. Then we see Liv get up, tag in Raquel, who just got up off the ground from getting her ass kicked. Hit the Tahana bomb, then prop her up, tags Liv in. Liv's hit the Oblivion, 1, 2, 3. So your winners and new tag team champions, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. The following night on Raw, Ronda came out, and I said this out there I put this out there on the Twitter. Ronda may have the moniker as the baddest woman on the planet, but God, does she not power walk like an angry Karen in an Applebee's? Just wow. Yeah. She really got to learn on how to do that kind of bad guy strut if she really wants to be more perceived as a very dominant heel. Anyways, she called out Shayna Baszler. Shayna then came out and was like, I think I speak on behalf of everyone when we say, shut up. We don't want to hear you attempt to talk. And then Shayna basically shot from both hips, bang bang, on Ronda, saying, you are the only reason you're here is because of me. I spent 10 plus years putting up rings, working matches in front of 30-something people just to get to this moment. You on the other hand, all you do is just call and then poof, it happens. Ooh, you did it and you got it. And very much so, I don't blame her. This is very much so a lot of the same stuff that Becky Lynch said before in interviews about Ronda, saying like, she's sitting there crying because she just has to leave her kid, all the while, we're out there working 300 something days a year and she's on a part-time schedule. So yeah. And then after Shayna got done cutting Ronda down too short to shit, then she proceeded to beat the living crap out of her. And then the Raw crowd, which was Baltimore, was all for it. And I can't blame them. So if they're trying to pin Ronda as this sympathetic good guy, saying, oh, she got betrayed by her friend. No, not gonna work. Fans already made their decision. They cut it down the middle. They're saying they're all for Shayna. So work it that way, please. Now with that said, now the next match, Matt Riddle going against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And Riddle had his ankle taped up because, well, it got worked on pretty good the Monday prior. And as far as this match went, man, Riddle, he was trying to lead early on, throwing out a lot, going hot out the gate, but it was like seeing, again, and I use this analogy a lot, it was like seeing a 5-year-old trying to fight Mike Tyson in his prime, man. Just, yeah. Ooh, it was bowling shoe ugly in those kind of ways. Like seeing a 5-year-old trying to pick a fight with Mike Tyson in his prime. It was just, yeah. When Gunther did his chops, boo! You felt it in the soul. And at one point, he picked Riddle's foot up and was chopping the heel of his foot like that. Just like, ah! Good God! That's sadistic! And I will say this also. Really cool that Michael Cole on commentary brought up on how them two had matches in the past in Progress. Had a match against each other before in Progress Wrestling over in England. Now, match came to an end when Gunther, surprisingly, wasn't a chop, Wasn't a sleeper, wasn't even power bombs. No, he put a knee bar in. He put a knee bar and tapped out the MMA guy, which I thought was really cool to see. After the match, then proceeded to have a beatdown and then got saved by, of all people, the return of Drew McIntyre. The Scottish Warrior made his triumphant return, took out Ludwig, took out Giovanni, and then stood toe-to-toe with Gunther, telling him that's what he wants. He wants that Intercontinental Championship. Following night on Raw, Riddle had a match against Giovanni, and then, again, Riddle got the surprise win, and then, just as they were about to do another beatdown, McIntyre did another surprise damn it, get my words right. Did a surprise, came out to stop the surprise attack, and then beat up Giovanni, beat up Ludwig, and then got toe-to-toe with Gunther again, and then proceeded to go and say, go and pretty much just say, we're going to have a tag match against Imperium next week, but until then, let's go get some pints off the Jimmy's! Which, side note, Jimmy's Famous Seafood, really, really good food. If you can mail order for it to get it, highly recommend it. So, with that said now, next matchup, it was Dominik Mysterio going against Cody Rhodes, and London was all for Cody. And Big Bad Dom, he got booed. And I mean booed. All way cool. Dom, very much so, starting out in a chicken shit heel kind of way, ducking, dodging, running around, trying to go. And then he was leading once the action took place. And it was a decent match. It was good. It was good. I liked it. I was thoroughly entertained watching this match. I dug it. Cody wound up leading the second half of the match and then got the win via a cutter and then crossroads. Fast forward on to Monday night, Cody, he was in the middle of the opening segment, which I'm not going to give away on because because then it would lead into who won what certain matches I haven't talked about yet. But just as Cody was about to speak, Brock Lesnar's music hits, and then Cody just stops like, what? And then he sees Brock, and then he just beats feet, comes down, runs down, beats the living shit out of Brock all the way up into the ring. They get into the ring. Brock, he then starts swinging, props him up for an F5. Cody gets out of it, jumps off the ropes, hit him with the Cody cutter, and then you just see Brock roll out of the ring doing like a tactical retreat like, okay, alright. So then Cody later on says, I'll fight Brock any night. It could be tonight, it could be next week, it could be at SummerSlam. And then invites Brock to come out the following week. So next week we have a potential Brock-Cody meeting. So with that said, next matchup we got Bayley. We got the women's Money in the Bank match. Bayley, Io Sky, Zelina Vega, Zoey Stark, Trish Stratus, and the MILF, Becky Lynch. And for those wondering, yes, I took my heart pills before this match. So I'm good. I was good. I took it during the Dominik-Cody match, mostly because of Rhea Ripley, but that's neither here nor there. So as far as the match goes, man, Zoey and Trish, they ran before the bell even started. They ran out of the ring to go and stop Becky halfway down the entryway and beat the living crap out of her. And then the match started, and then mayhem ensues. It is a full-on car crash demolition derby for this. And good God, I absolutely loved every last minute of it. All the girls were leaving and all that. At one point, Trish got hit with a ladder, and you could see it. She broke her nose. She broke her nose again. But I give her credit where credit's due, man. She muscled through it. Didn't stop, didn't do, no. Call for a ref. Or, just like, I can keep going. And just kept going. And she just kept on keeping on. That's what you call dedication. Now, at one point, Trish and Zoey, they tried handcuffing Becky. They got a handcuff on her wrist, but they tried handcuffing her to a turnbuckle. Becky fought off, and then was really taking it to both of them. And at one point, Becky hit Trish with a manhandle slam onto a ladder, jumping off of the commentator's table. And that was the main story in the match the whole time. Now the secondary story was Bayley and Io both damage control. Are they going to be what's going to happen with them two if it comes down to it between them two climbing a ladder? And at one point Io, she was climbing up, and then guess what? Bayley tips the ladder over on her. So yeah, and then Michael Cole, man, he had a field day on that. Like, oh my God, she just betrayed her. All this, that, and the other kind of stuff. Match came to an end when Becky and Bayley are both fighting to climb up the ladder, and then Io, out of nowhere, gets the handcuff that Bayley had that's on Becky, and then handcuffs Bayley to it. And Becky is on this rung. Bayley is on this rung down here. So, while they're both handcuffed like that on an angle, so neither of them can be like, Io then climbs over Bayley to then retrieve said Money in the Bank contract. So your winner and new Miss Money in the Bank, Io Sky, which, by the way, Io has now officially set a record for being the second longest Miss Money in the Bank, for holding it, by the time of this recording, 2 days. So, yeah. A lot of in-house fighting between damage control. Next up, we got Finn Balor versus Seth Elizabeth Rollins, because his middle name is not frickin' damn it, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Whew, man, I tell you, really aggressive at the start. Balor working on Seth's ribs. He's had them taped up for the past for some time now. Getting 3 coup de grace done to you on one cup some time ago. Yeah, does that to you. Really good action. I dug the hell out of this match. At one point, Priest, he comes out taunting Seth with the briefcase. Hey, I just won. Taunting, teasing like, could I potentially cash in to make this a triple threat? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Just doing taunting, teasing like that. But really good match. I liked it. It came to an end. Finn was leading, had Seth down, hit him with the shotgun drop kick, got in the drop zone. He's climbing up. And as he's climbing up, you just see Priest get up out of his chair. Not say a word, not going over like nothing. Just getting up out of his chair. And Balor just looking like, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? And then he proceeds to go, try to do the stunt, jump for the coup de grace. He misses, and then Seth hits him. Seth gets him, sets him up, hits him with the curb stomp, 1, 2, 3. So your winner and still World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. Following night on Raw, Seth comes out. He was the opening segment, which Cody then interrupted and then had the Brock Ensemble. Then Seth winds up saying, well, I guess that's just on how things kind of go, since I am a fighting champion. I am open to fighting anyone. Then Judgment Day came out. Priest, again, teasing, taunting with the Money in the Bank. Hey, could get you at any time. And then, but, I don't feel like hitting you up tonight. But any one of us could fight you at any time. And then Seth, anyone? Kind of having the finger point leaning over to Rhea, which a lot of taunting and teasing about that. And I've shared my thoughts about intergender wrestling. I'm fully for it. I got zero problem with it whatsoever. I grew up in South Philly where women beat up men, where women could kick as much ass as the guys, and if not more. And I have seen full-grown women beat the living shit out of a dude with no problem whatsoever. I'm all for it. My thing is it not being okay on TV because viewership and the way the audience, certain audience members are going to see that, and they're going to see guys fighting girls. And then if you have a wrestling show where it's a kid watching and like, hey, my mom says I'm not supposed to hit girls. How come this guy's allowed to go and hit her? Huh. You know, things like that. So, like I said, I'm cool with it. It's just, I don't think it's something that could be put on TV, you know? No different than a death match. You can't get a death, as cool as death matches are, you can't put that on a cable television, no. No. So, either way, Seth then winds up saying he'll fight Dirty Dom. Dominik Mysterio, Seth Rollins happen on Raw. Seth, he's looking like he's about to get the win. Priest comes in, choke slams him, so Seth gets the win via a DQ. And then Priest, Dominik, and Rhea proceed to beat the crap out of Seth because Finn, nobody knows where Finn is. They haven't heard from him all night, dude. No. Bro, I haven't heard from him. So, yeah, and then they proceed to beat the crap out of him. Dominik then gets the suitcase, hands it to Priest. Do it! Cash it in now. Now's your time. Do it. He's down. And then Priest, he's walking over, looking like he's about to. And then, just as he's about to, Finn shows up out of nowhere and proceeds to start beating the crap out of Seth. And then Finn and Priest are having a bunch of infighting, squabbling with each other. What are you doing? What are you doing? I was about to cash in on him. I was going to be world champ. Oh, you like I was going to be world champ on Saturday, right? Right? And then you showed up. You cost me my shot. And yeah, and then that's on how that show, then the show ended with basically them two squabbling like that. So now we come to main event match of the night. Bloodline Civil War. Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. And man, real interesting start with the Usos and Solo starting it out. You know, having brothers versus the baby brother, and just, wow. I was really kind of like just sitting there like, okay, interesting. And then Roman working with Jay. Roman working with Jay at the start because, well, main event Jay. Jay, who's supposed to be the next head of the table. Jay, who's supposed to be the next tribal chief. The Jay, who's supposed to keep the family in the promised land. So, yeah, that Jay. And, well, then he proceeded to get made into the punching bag for a bit. And then it was Jimmy. Then Jimmy got made into the punching bag. But what got me was when Jay first got in there and it was Roman tagged in, Jay was like, oh, all right, we doing this. Then you see him take off the tape, take off the compression sleeves, like, all right, we going? All right, let's go. Just like that. Then Jimmy got in. He was the punching bag for a bit. And then Jay winds up getting in a hot tag. Really good back and forth with each other on this match. A lot of great storytelling. With the great healthy amount of false finishes. And what? That was not the finish. Like, at one point there was a ref bump, and then I think it was Jimmy. he got hit with a spear and Samoan spike at the same time. And then they went to go do the count. 1, 2, kick out. And just like, whoa. What? Like, what? Yeah. It was, like I said, great healthy amount of false finishes. I was all freaking for it with this match. I absolutely loved it. Match came to an end when, at one point, Roman, he has Jay down, and then when Jay goes for the pin, or when Roman goes to pin Jay, he goes 1, 2, and then Jay pops his shoulder up to a big surprise, but the way he does it, boom! He popped his arm up and then low-blowed Roman, and you could just see Roman's face like... Like somebody... Yeah, like... Fuck! That wasn't a worked low blow. Like, he legit got hit in the nuts. And then, after that, he then got got bombarded with super kicks by both Usos. And then the splash by Jay. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso pinned Roman. The first time in 3 years, since 2019, Roman Reigns has been pinned. So, yeah. And then they proceeded to go and and then the Usos proceeded to go and put out there on their Twitter that Roman is going to be facing... Tribal is going to be facing Bloodline Court, very much so in the same way, kind of like Sammy did when he had to face the family. Roman's now going to have to face the Bloodline. So yeah, really looking forward to SmackDown on that one. So, with that said, folks, that is it for this week's show. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious, provided you have enough limits to see it. Also, thank you to my executive producer, Ollie Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. All that good shiznit details are down below. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship is now on Tubi. Free, so folks, you got no reason to not check them out. Trust me, y'all will appreciate it. Don't forget to check out whatamaneuver.net as well for some Vicious Rants apparel. Help support the show. Folks, the Vicious Studios finally got good quality air conditioning in here. Thanks to your contributions. Let's help keep that momentum going. I do have a child. I have Christmas coming up. We also have Halloween and other things like that, and I gotta pay these funny little gimmicks called bills, folks. Help support the show, buy a shirt. Also, don't forget to follow these cool ass cats right on that Twitter. Jenny Gilla, DSB_RV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry, Pants and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.